Hello, my name is Glenn Becker. I'm the President of Tactical Research for Belleville Shoe Company, and I'm very pleased to rejoin our friends at U.S. Cavalry to show Tactical Research's newest boots. The newest product offering from Belleville is our Khyber Mountain Hybrid boot. Now, we call it a mountain hybrid boot because we recognize that it's not a true mountain boot in the sense that it's very firm and very stiff. Rather, it's a hybrid because we've put performance features in the outsole and in the upper that allow it to be worn in very rugged territory, and it allows the boot to be very effective in loose rock, scree, and talus. The base of our program and of the technology we're using begins with the outsole. This outsole is developed in conjunction with Vibram. We call it the Ibex outsole. An Ibex, for those curious, is a native Afghan mountain goat. And for anyone that has seen the maneuverability and the agility of mountain goats, we think this outsole gives the soldier an opportunity to have more mobility and more agility. So, starting with the design, you'll notice the toe is very unusual. This is a fully serrated toe. The purpose of this is so a soldier trying to gain a purchase, either on a mountainside and rock or over a wall, has an opportunity to get traction using their toe. Also, we put the very same treatment on the back of the heel kicker. You see again, it is serrated here. This provides the soldier, if they are in a slide, which is also called a glissade in mountain climbing terms, they can use these serrations to begin to gain traction and hopefully arrest that slide. So those are two unique features that most other boots do not have. Moving to the bottom of the sole, the Vibram sole is loaded with sharp leading edge lugs. Again, this provides traction in rocky and rough terrain. You'll notice the outsole also has a 90-degree heel. The 90-degree heel is very important because it allows the soldier to use the heel as a brake when they are on descents. It's especially important for soldiers who are bearing weight, as the weight shifts their center of gravity. And so a heel allows a soldier to dig in and gain traction and not lose control of downward momentum and downward movement. Finally, if you'll look closely at the lug patterns, you'll see that all the lugs are long and flat. This improves the amount of lug in contact with the surface and helps greatly with slip resistance. So the leading edges provide terrific grip, while the long flat lugs provide really good slip resistance. The upper is fairly unique as well. The first thing you may notice is this extra layer of leather around the toe. We call this an overlay. And we also have an extra layer of leather around the heel. These are high wear points, especially being worn in rugged terrain and mountainous terrain territory. So we're reinforcing and hopefully extending the life of the boot by putting these reinforcing parts on it. The reason we use leather and not rubber is we would like for the soldier to be able to buy this and wear this boot with their uniform while they're on bases as well. So it's not a specialty mountain boot. That's part of what makes it a hybrid, as we discussed earlier. It's got rugged mountain features, but it can also be worn compatibly with the ACU. Staying with the upper, you'll also see we use these dramatic upsweeps of the vamp. This gives more coverage and protection over this part of the foot for the soldier. So the foot's protected here from rocks and from any kind of stobs or sticks that might be hitting from the side. You'll see we use a scalloped top line, all these scallops in each one of the eye rows. This allows for flexibility. We have an opportunity here for the boot to be flexible at each of these places and not restrict the soldier's movement. And finally, it's noticeable that this is a very aggressive lace-to-toe. By using a lace-to-toe construction, the soldier is able to get a very customized fit all the way down his foot or her foot and achieve the greatest and maximum amount of comfort and support that they would like to have, and that's completely within their ability to control that. Now, inside the Khyber boot, we build a very soft but highly supportive platform system. The Khyber has a lasted-in EVA cushioned midsole. This is the piece that's going to provide the greatest amount of shock attenuation and shock absorption. It sits here. On top of this midsole, this lasted-in midsole, is our proprietary TR1 footbed that then provides a great deal of the support and the comfort. We've reviewed the TR1 in the past, and it's worth noting again, the TR1, one of its most critical features is this hard EVA resin cradle. It's this cradle that makes the TR1 unique and helps the TR1 support load-bearing soldiers. I have with me a typical competitor's footbed versus the TR1, and you see this is much softer, easily folded, easily manipulated. Even though there's some cushioning here, there's no support, especially when we talk about the ankle bearing the weight of the soldier. You can see that right here where the ankle would be, this footbed is not going to hold the arch in. As opposed to the TR1, you can see that right here there's a great deal of resistance, and the soldier is going to be supported from the side. There is some cushioning on the TR1 footbed. There's 3 millimeters of foam underneath the top lining, and then of course the forefoot is all EVA and very soft and very pliable and provides a great deal of shock absorption. So that is a lot of the technology that is in the boots. The Khyber is going to be available in this multicam pattern that you see here. This is the Cry Precision Multicam purchased from Duro Industries. We've combined it with a real dusty earth tone leather, very reminiscent of what's being used in the Marine Corps, a Mojave olive leather. It has all the same features and benefits of our desert version. It just had the added benefit of blending in very, very well with the multicam uniform. That is available. Finally, by popular demand, when we introduced the Khyber, we began to get several phone calls from the law enforcement community as well as the military communities that still are allowed to wear black boots. And so we have created the Khyber in a black version. There are a few very very minor differentiation points. We did use a rubber heel kicker back here on the black version so that when law enforcement is driving, this becomes something that prevents the boot from scuffing and scarring. And we also left it plain toe and highly polishable, which we know is a feature that's often required of black boots, whether they're worn in the military or whether they're worn in the law enforcement and public safety sector. And then finally, staying within the black boot community, we offer the same boot but with a side zip. We have a very unique molded overlay for the zipper, and the zipper is a very high quality zipper. This is known as a self-locking zipper. It does not work its way down. You can see the firmness as the zipper is manipulated. It locks in place and does not creep. It's a very expensive YKK coil zipper anatomically built into the boot so that it makes for easy donning and easy doffing. The Khyber boot from Tactical Research by Belleville will be available in sizes 3 through 12, whole and half sizes, and then sizes 13 and 14. All will be available at US Cavalry, uscav.com.